Atari had a huge presence in the arcade scene, and here we take a look back at their history over 3 videos. Which games are your favourite? Let me know in the comments. In this video we take a look at Atari's arcade presence from 1990 to 1999. In this game, players must punch and kick their opponents until their energy has run out. Players choose one of 3 characters who each have different moves, speed and power. There are also bonus rounds which are played on every third fight. The game used digitised live actors and was well received in North America and Japan. This game is a sequel to Atari's 1989 game Hard Driving and invites players to test drive several high-powered sports cars. The game consists of racing 1 or 2 laps in a given time limit. The gameplay and vehicle operation was similar to that of Hard Driving. There were, however, enhancements made to this game compared to its predecessor, which include improved handling as well as more cars and tracks made available. This game combines shoot-'em-up, puzzle and strategy elements where the player must control and defend a territory which consists of a large wall that surrounds castles and canyons. The player must shoot at attacking ships and other players. The game had single and multiplayer modes and did well on release. This game sees the player take on the role of a secret agent who is on a mission to stop the mad mutation experiments that are being carried out by Madame Q. The player encounters various enemies throughout the game, such as divers, robots and mutants. There is also a boss that the player must defeat at the end of certain levels. This horizontal scrolling beat-em-up was based on the 1989 Batman film and features stages that are based on locations from the film. In the game, Batman can use various weapons such as batarangs and must take on various villains such as the Joker. The game is single player only. This game is a remake of the successful Breakout game that Atari released in 1976. In this remake, there is a much more varied style of gameplay, and the game can support up to 3 players. As you progress through levels, the game will add blocks that move randomly, as well as power-ups, bombs and other elements. In this racing game, players control dune buggies that are equipped with weapons and must attempt to win races around the globe. There are 12 tracks in total to navigate through, set in various locations around the world. In this flight simulator game, the player takes on the role of a pilot and must fly a helicopter that is equipped with a machine gun, rockets and a limited supply of missiles. The game features 1 and 2 player modes. A side-scrolling beat-em-up that featured digitised sprites similar to Atari's Pit Fighter game. The player chooses one of 4 characters and must advance through 4 different areas of the city, such as the subway and amusement park, and defeat various gang members along the way. Once a gang leader has been defeated, they will then join the player's team to assist them. The game also features a weapon system. A baseball game that features 2 different modes. Players can either be the starting pitcher or they can be the relief pitcher. There are 4 fictitious teams in the game, each with its own special strength. The game featured single player and multiplayer modes. A space combat game that can be played by 1 to 2 players simultaneously. In the game, the player starts as the pilot of a ship controlling the direction and speed in which the ship travels, as well as shooting lasers and nukes at whatever is at the centre of the screen. A second player can act as co-pilot. There are various different features and controls in the game, as well as different modes such as team versus and melee. In this fighting game, players control one of 7 large beasts that battle each other to determine the planet's fate, with the object of the game is to deplete the opposing character's health meter before the player's health runs out. The game was a huge success upon release and was ported to a number of home consoles. In this game, players control a hovering tank that is equipped with special weapons and abilities. There are different modes depending on how many people are playing, including a tournament mode where 2 players go one-on-one. Up to 6 people can play, as well as a single player option. Area 51 is a light gun game named after the military facility. In the game, players take part in a military operation to prevent aliens from taking over the Area 51 facility. The player plays through various sections of the facility, such as a warehouse. Players must defeat zombie soldiers and aliens without harming any of their team members. The game had single player and co-op options. San Francisco Rush Extreme Racing is the first game in the popular Rush series which sees players racing around 3 tracks that take place in San Francisco and California. There are 8 playable vehicles to choose from, and the game had single and multiplayer options. This game went for a more over-the-top style of gameplay compared to other hockey games that were released at the time. The game did, however, feature a simulation mode for those that wanted a more realistic hockey game. There were single and multiplayer options available. In this light gun shooting game, players take on the role of an unnamed counter-terrorist agent who must engage in 3 different combat zones. These areas are under siege, and it's up to the player to kill the terrorists before they take aim and fire at you. There are several power-ups in the game that can be obtained. The game featured single and co-op options. This game is a sequel to the original Area 51 game and picks up where that game left off. The game is broken down into 2 big menus titled Field Exercise and Adventure. The Field Exercise section is the main mode of the game. In this racing game, players compete against different racers on tracks set in many cities on the outskirts and streets of California. Players can race with different cars, including a golf cart, as well as the ability to change the colour of your car. The game featured single and multiplayer modes. This game is a sequel to Gauntlet that was released in 1985 and is a fantasy-themed hack-and-slash game that sees players travel through different realms, defeat bosses, and find 3 rune stones. Up to 4 players can play simultaneously. In this motorcycle racing game, players must pass checkpoints in order to earn additional time in the race. The player's score is based on the distance travelled within the time limit. In this game, the San Francisco Rush popular racing games, the tracks are based around a futuristic representation of San Francisco. Rush 2049 also features a stunt mode in which players can score points for mid-air stunts and successful landings. The game also had single and multiplayer options. A first-person shooter game that consists of 2 main modes, campaign and head-to-head. In the single-player option, the player will play through the campaign mode, and in the multiplayer, players can play together through the mode or go head-to-head. The game also features a large selection of weapons, with each player having a unique weapon to begin with. Hope you enjoyed that look back at Atari's arcade presence in the 1990s and the 2 previous videos looking back at their presence in the 1970s and 1980s. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll be notified of future videos. Thanks for watching.